What's up, everybody? Welcome to another CSS animation episode. So today we're going to make a loading screen. So you got a final productive loading screen here. It's really simple one, but I think it's really captivate the audience attention. Disclaimer: I didn't make this design. I actually seen this in a website, and it looked pretty cool. So I decided to make it my own. So before we start coding this animation, I just want to let you guys know that if you like this content and want more CSS goodies, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, we have a Copen project open. Alright, let's get started with this animation. So the first thing I want to do is just define a simple markup. So I have a body tab, and in this body tab, I just define 5 squares. As you can see in the introduction, the animation only involves 5 moving squares, and in this, I'm going to give it a class called square, and then I'm going to copy and paste. Right, now we have 5 squares. Now I just want to do a little bit of styling to the body. So for the height and width, I'm going to make 100% view height and view width. And in order to center these 5 squares, one way to do that is just use flex block. Followed by the justified content and align item center. And we're going to give this a background color. Right, so now I have the body styles. Now I'm going to style the square itself. So for the square, I'm going to put the height and width 50 pixels. And with a border radius of 10 pixels. And what's the gap between each squares? I'm thinking just of about 5 pixels for now. And I give a background color of each square is red. So right now I have 5 squares with a red color. So this looks all good for now, and I want to style each individual square, so I can give each squares with the alphabet letter A, B, C, D, E. Now for A should the starting so look at the starting square is going to be up here, and then it push the second square down. So basically I need to move this first square up to the top. In order to do that, I can use transfrorm, translate 55 pixel in X axis and make it 55 pixel in the Y axis. Yeah, so that's on top of the B square. A square is now on top of B square. So this is exactly what I want. Now, because if you look at the introduction picture here, because all the 5 squares are different color and leave with a gradient color with the red color as a primary color. So I already have the color defined. So I just copy it back here. And the background image. So all of these I already predefined before. So if you don't know how to work it out, you can just Google it until you find perfect linear gradient color that you want. I already done that for myself. So now B is gonna be nearly the same. So I can just copy and paste down here and just change that to B. And again, I have the color predefined for B. And actually B gonna look exactly the same as A. You look at these, you see that A and B have exactly the same color. Now for C, I have the color predefined as well. Very nice. And I'm going to do the same thing for D. And E as well. Right, so now we have all the starting points ready for us to do the animation. Before we actually coding the animation, let's break down the movement of each square in the design. So I have a symbol diagram here with the color legends that signify the movement direction of each square. So when the animation starts, the A square moves down, and at the same time, the B square moves down as well. That represented by this blue arrow. And then the B square shifts to the right, and then it shifts up. When it shifts up, the C square moves up as well. So these two happen at the same time. And then the C square moves to the right and move down. As it moves down, the D square moves down as well. And then the D square moves to the right and move up. As the D square moves up, the E square moves up as well. And then the cycle, the second half of the cycle is exactly the same. It just happen in opposite direction. And as you can see, if I say that each movement takes around 0.3 seconds, then how long is this animation gonna last for each cycle? A cycle is just from start to finish. Is a time from start to finish for the animation to repeat itself, right? So if I manually count all the movements and the total of number of movements is 12. So if each movement is 0.3 seconds and they have 12 movements per unit time, then it's fair to say that the whole animation duration is gonna equal to 0.3 seconds times by 12, which is 3.6 seconds. And also because this animation repeats itself forever, so it doesn't matter where you start in the cycle of the animation, the length of the duration of the animation duration is always 2.6 seconds. So it's fair to say that each square got is animation duration equal 3.6 seconds. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's get start coding the animation. I'm going to name the animation is move A. This is a arbitrary name that I can think of at the top of my mind. I want to define the length of duration, which is 3.6 as we calculated before. And the step function is going to be linear. Now I define the keyframes for a square movement. And also I can take this background color off. For keyframe, at the start it doesn't move, so I can basically just copy the transform from the initial position, and then it moves after 0.3 seconds. It moves down, and if you take 0.3 seconds divided by 3.6, it's going to be 8.33%. 8.33%. And then we do the transform. Translate 50 pixel 0. And that's it. In this cycle, the A square only moved down by 1 unit. So after the cycle completes, this position doesn't change at all. So I can say that at 100% keyframe, the position doesn't change. Let's look at it again. You can see it moved down to the B square position. So now we can do the B square animation. Again, because the animation property is going to be the same for all squares. So basically it's a property from the A square animation, and change the name of the animation and specify the keyframe for the B square. Now again, at the initial position, the B square basically as current position. So I don't do anything here. And after 0.3 seconds, because A and B start at the same time, so after 0.3 seconds, A moved down and B moved down small. So again, if you take 0.3 divided by 3.6, it's give you 8.33. And now I can do a transform to move this square down. And after another 0.3 seconds pass, which is at 16.66%, 0.6 divided by 3.6 equals 16.66% anyway. Yeah, this involves a little math, because you want to get the timings precisely. Yep, so move this, basically move the B square to the right, and now we need to move it up after 0.3, another 0.3%. As you can see, just move down and up. And also another property that changed here is that when you look at this design, the color when it moves a square to a different position, the color is changed to corresponding to its position. So basically, if I move B square to C square position, the B square color can be changed to C square color. So basically, I can safely copy this to here. Now, I just make this 100% keyframe as a placeholder for now. This is because when the B square is here, a second half of the cycle is actually need to move up again and back, and translate to the left. So there's other keyframes that I haven't put it in for these move up and move left movement, and I'll come back to later because I want to do this move this first half of animation and then I'll do the second half of animation later. So I'm gonna revisit extra few keyframes here. But for now, just put 100% keyframe as a current position. So look at this again. Right, that's exactly what I want for now. Now, coming back to C animation, C square animation, it's going to be exactly the same. It's nearly the same as A and B. Move C. Now for C, we just need to move up, move to the right, and move down. However, because C duration of animation is 3.6, but the animation actually doesn't start until 0.6 seconds have passed. So we can define 16.66%. The position doesn't change is equal to its current position because you need to wait 0.6 seconds until you start doing animation. You start moving the C square. So I have all of these steps predefined. Well, basically for C, we just move up, move right, move down. So it's gonna get a little bit boring if I just type in all of these. So instead, I'm gonna copy and paste the code I written here. So basically, at each frame here, the gap is the duration for each frame is 0.3 seconds. So from this frame to this frame, 0.3 seconds. This frame, 0.3 seconds, and again. Now let's watch this animation again. So for that, I need to define 100% keyframe. Basically, this is a placeholder for now. I'm going to revisit it later. Let's look at the animation. Move down, right. That's exactly what I want for now. I will come back to that later. Now for D, exactly the same again. Except with different name. So you can see that patterns repeat itself here. The movement kind of similar to each square, except at different timing. So for D, the animation doesn't actually start after 1.2 second have passed. That's why I'm going to define 33.33% as initial position. If you got get 1.2 seconds divided by 3.6, it's going to give you this number. Now for D is to move down, move to the right, to move up, so exactly the same as B. Therefore, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste the code so that you guys don't get bored while I'm typing this. So this move up, move to the right. This move down, move to the right, and move up. And also, I think I messed up the image, background color. Right, so the movement look exactly what I want. Now, for the 100 keyframe, it's going to exactly the same the one previously. And you can see it looks pretty great, right? So we nearly complete the cycle. We get the first half of the cycle done. So let's start with the second half, and the second half start with E, the E square. Again, I'm going to define animation names and move E, and specify the keyframes for it. So for E, it's actually move up, move to the left, and move down. So this is going to be similar to C move from here, except it doesn't move to the right, it actually moves to the left. And also, E animation actually doesn't start after, let's do the calculation, after 1.8 seconds have passed. So, because of that, 50% keyframes going to be at initial position. And then in the next 3 intervals, with each interval 0.3 seconds, it move up, left, and down. Right, so 100%. And also you notice I do the background color and background image change as well, because every time it moves to position, the color is changed to the position, change correspond to this position. So if you look at this again, let's look at the color change. See, you see the color automating. That's exactly what I want. Now we have E ready. Now we need to do this C animation again. So when we come back to C, the second half of the cycle is moved down, left, and up. So if we scroll back to move C animations, right here, before I set this 100% as placeholder for now, because I missed some keyframes for the second half of the cycle. Now let's start implementing that. So for this second half, basically, we move down, left, and up, right? So I have it all predefined here. So it's really simple. Changing position, it just really translates. So nothing too difficult here. So basically, you can see that all these color kind of repeated itself over and over again. So just copy and paste to make life a little bit easier. And just set 100% keyframes. So let's look at the animation now. What have we done for the second half? So look exactly what I want. Coming back to the diagram. So the B now has to move up and move to the left. Oh, let's just do that. So we come back to the move B. So adding some missing keyframes. Missing some keyframes here, so I'm gonna add it in. So it's move up and then move to the left, right? Right. Animation movie. Right, so we have the whole cycle complete. So we just want to repeat this cycle forever. And one animation probably to do that is animation iteration count. And I'm going to copy this to repeat everywhere for each square. Right, so let's look at our final product. Now it just repeats itself forever. So now we have a really cool pre-loading screen that really simple to do. It's just to do with my precise timing and moving the square using transform, translate. All of these quite easy to do, and it takes just take around nearly 200 lines of CSS, but it's really captivate the audience attention. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, guys.